As a child, the Renaissance Fair was a great school field trip that, aside from the long bus ride, didn't suck. Today, the North Carolina Renaissance Festival is one of the largest in the country. It's got everything from jousting, shows, crafts, and Renaissance characters roaming the land, not to mention the good beer. So we hit the road to check it out. Little did we know that the Renaissance Fair is also a place any misunderstood person can call home. We found that after hours, our quaint little Renaissance Festival transformed into an entertaining party unlike any seen before, with people that have come to consider each other family. Rennie, noun, slang, a participant, performer, or artisan at a Renaissance festival or fair. So we wanted to get to the bottom of who these Rennees really are. So we got in our car and drove down to Huntersville, right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, where one of the largest Renaissance fairs in the country has been throwing down for the last 17 years.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
Along the way, we met up with the Tortuga twins, who are no stranger to life as Rennees.
Greetings!
Bonjour!
Hola!
Salutations!
How's it going?
Aloha!
Tikani!
Grazie!
Hello, welcome, and howdy! We are the Tortuga Twins! Woohoo!
At the Carolina Renaissance Festival.
Why are they called Tortuga twins?
Because our mother, she could not count. I'm sorry.
Actually, there's only two of us. You're just very, very drunk and seeing double.
Way back when there was just a couple of us who we were looking to do a new Renaissance festival. We had non-speaking parts. We wanted something that was a speaking thing. So we wanted to be twin brothers looking for our lost princess. At the time, there was an underground comic book called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Well, turtle means Tortuga, or Tortuga means turtle. So we decided to do that. I took the name of Raphael. He took Donatello. Little we know that the hell we would go through when the TV show, the cartoon, the movie came out.
Most of their act involves a lot of audience participation in acting out of fairy tales with a twist. They've got a lot of experience picking the right person for the job.
We watch them from before the show starts.
Yeah, sometimes it's something as simple as what they're wearing, loud, outgoing shirts. It's the way they act, whether they're laughing or not.
We watch how they respond to this joke, that joke. If someone is sitting stone-faced, we're probably not going to pick them.
Whether they fit the suit, too. If they're a certain body type, it's like, okay, for Robin Hood, I need a smaller guy that looks like a yuppie. Big Bad Wolf and the Sheriff, big guys that we look like we can't control.
And we can.
And we can.
Yeah, it's one of our mutant powers. Especially after 22 years, we can pretty much tell how most people are going to react. Sometimes we make mistakes, and even the mistakes are okay.
But the Tortuga twins have been in the business for a long time, and throughout that, they've seen a lot of bizarre stuff.
We've been flashed countless times in the audience. We've had people, it's gotten weird here when people run up on stage and start stuffing money in our pants. I'm 45 years old. I'm kind of doughy and pudgy. I'm not him. And yet, somehow I get to be a sex symbol. Thank you, comedy. Thank you, comedy. We can never tell what's going to happen next. I'm terrified I'm going to get hit sometimes, and yet people always play. I pick the biggest, scariest guy on the planet, and I go to tweak his nipples, and I've gotten kissed.
No, it's okay. You're a little old. Just pretend you're a school teacher in Florida.
It's always an adventure. And that's the fun part of the job.
Just talking to the Tortuga twins, you can tell they are truly passionate about their work.
We all started because we loved it. In our case, 25 or heck, no, my first time was 16, so 29 years ago. And I fell in love with it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving my Dungeons & Dragons fantasy village. Over time, it became more of a job, less of a fantasy, but there's still, I actually wrote about this morning, when we walked in, you could hear all the instruments tuning up, and there's a Christmas in the air, and all the actors scurrying about last-minute preparations. Like, there's the magic. Yeah.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but we have a village. If we see kids running around, we know who these children are, we know who they belong to, and it is a big sense of community. We do things together. We do things separately too, but I mean, we all meet up and have a great time.
Now understand, we're not like a circus. We don't pick up all as one group and travel in a train together. We're independent contractors, and some of the people I'll see here, I won't see again until I get back here next year.
Right.
But some of them will be at the next show I do next weekend, and some of them I'll see in Minnesota in midsummer. Go to your standard gated community. Do you really know your neighbors? When's the last time you were in their house? When's the last time you ate with them? Us, we do it a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like a church group. It's not like we're all eating in one big table together.
Although that does happen.
It
does happen. Yeah.
And the parties are pretty cool.
being on the road for us, it's easy. It's normal. It's normal. You know, it's harder to stay in one place. Although you stay in one place long enough, you'll go, hey, I kind of like this.
I don't.
And then you get back out on the road, and 2 weeks of performing, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
My family travels with me. You know, I have a pretty large travel trailer. I love it. People are like, do you want to come home for a home cooked meal? It's like, actually, I got one at the house. Thanks, but thanks. You know, I mean, I don't live badly at all. This is what I was created to do. I love being on stage. I love the little weird things. You know, we don't party as much as we used to, but it's still there if we want to. You know, it's great. I don't have as many toys as a lot of America, but I still have a fairly decent middle class life, and I'm home with my daughter 7 days a week. You know, nothing wrong with that.
Along the way, we met some pretty crazy people. The one thing about Renaissance fairs is we realize people just kind of yell out whatever they want.
I'm a fat guy in a plaid skirt, so you know, whatever. Don't you look at me in that tone of voice. I will turn this Renaissance Festival around and go home, young lady. I gotta say, partner, she is a lot prettier than the girl you brought last week. Way to trade up, nicely done. You're really gonna take a picture of a fat guy in a plaid skirt. What is wrong with you? Yeah, relative humidity is a weather term in the rest of the country. It's how sweaty you get when you're making out with your cousin in Mississippi.
Just so you know, the fat guy in a plaid skirt is part of a new subgenre that is popping up in Renaissance fairs called steampunk. Steampunk, noun, slang, a subgenre of science fiction that came into prominence during the 1980s and early 1990s, specifically involving an era or world where steam power is still widely used.
Visually, steampunk is a mashup between Charles Dickens and Flash Gordon. Science fiction with a Victorian aesthetic.
Don't let this guy's blunt exterior turn you off. He's a master tradesman at his art, making all of his own costumes he sells.
I like to break things, and now I get paid for it. Something very cathartic about buying a perfectly good antique and smashing it with a rock. My wife and I do 46 weekends a show a year. So I do shows as far west as LA and as far east as Baltimore.
Just like the Tortuga Twins, this fellow seemed to tell the same story about the Renaissance community.
Well, it's just like any other community. You're not going to get along with everybody that's out here, but you know, for the most part, it's a pretty small community. People who travel full time, and you know, people that don't get along with their neighbor tend not to last.
But what's a Renaissance fair without jousting?
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you and all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Sing it out.
The jousting was good, but we certainly learned a little bit about the ale.
Indeed, ale is very fine here at Rennees.
A really good selection of beer. Well, I like a lot of fantasy adventure novels and stuff. Been reading those for years. Played Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid, and this kind of thing is just right up that alley. You're more in tune with what's going on in Renaissance or medieval times, and you want to kind of project that. And there's no other place that you can do that but Renaissance Fair.
So the Renaissance Fair was not exactly what we expected, but it's really just filled with a lot of people who love what they do and make up a subculture of America who call themselves Rennees.
Really freaking me out with the mic.
Yeah, that's kind of scary stuff right there.
What school is this?
Adolescent.
Okay, college. Good.
Yes, college.
Like, how much do we have to clean this up? Okay.
Yeah, there's no restrictions.
Yeah, no restrictions.
Fucking fuck. No.
Are you recording now? No.
Can you tell us the craziest thing that you've ever done?
Not on camera.
If I was, say, to get married.
To one of us, ain't gonna happen. We got stuff to do, baby, yeah. We should be looking at the camera more. Hi, I'm making eye contact with you, but she's
speaking
over
of
there.
D&D, our interviewer is wearing a cape. I just want to point that out.
Maybe she's a vampire and she doesn't want to sparkle in the sunlight.
None of that.
All right, yeah.
None of that.
Oh yeah, you're above that, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Actually, it was hers. I just put it on.
Camera girl is the nerd.
Yeah. So long,
Farewell, Avidas and goodbye. Adieu to you and you and you. Oh, we're not doing the dance. Okay. Ciao.